Hey, founded back in 1939, the West Michigan Symphony has grown from a small group of volunteers to a full professional orchestra. And you can help them celebrate their commitment to the arts by attending one of their amazing upcoming shows. Here to tell us more about those shows and the Symphony's future plans, the president and CEO of West Michigan Symphony, Andy Below. Good morning, Andy.
Good morning.
Thank you for being here. Appreciate the time.
Glad to be here.
85 years from the West Michigan. Oh my goodness, the West Michigan Symphony that long. Can you talk a little bit about an overarching storyline of how it's changed?
Sure.
I mean, I did mention it started out as a very small group.
That's right. Yeah, it was an orchestra, a name only, I think, at the start. A group of volunteer musicians right around the time of World War II, and feeling that Muskegon needed live music to bolster people's spirits at that time. Today, all these years later, it's a professional orchestra. All the musicians are auditioned and paid, and they come from all around the state and actually from out of state, some of them. And they come together multiple times a year to make music. A
professional orchestra, that people getting paid to do it. Love that. Love seeing those professional artists in our area. That's one of the things that distinguishes our symphony from others. What would you say sets West Michigan Symphony apart from others?
We're out to be the friendliest and most audience-welcoming orchestra in the country. That's what sets us apart. When you come to our symphony concert, people will greet you with a smile. They'll welcome you. Our music director talks to the audience from the stage and explains the music to them, if in case they don't know that much about classical music.
Which is probably a lot of the audience sometimes.
A lot of people, right, and it's new or unusual to a lot of people, and so he gives people a little bit of insights into the music being played, and just makes the whole thing a little less intimidating.
I love that. It's similar to ballet, where some folks have that disconnect, been trying to connect to the story, to the art, and to have any opportunity to help you get closer to it, to understand and appreciate it is, well, appreciated. So thank you for doing that. And we got mentioned some shows. We want to help people see you in action, and the Frauenthal Center, really, that's home base, right?
Yep. Frauenthal Center is we call that our big stage. We also have our little stage. That's a venue we call the Block that seats about 115 people, and actually our next performance coming up is in the Block, and that's going to be on February 14th, featuring a contemporary cellist. His name is Ian Maxon, and he makes the cello a completely new instrument with looping and pedals and all kinds of things. And then on the 28th, the full symphony will gather in the Frauenthal Center for Tchaikovsky's Winter Dream Symphony.
Oh, wow.
Perfect for the time of the year.
Sure.
We'll try to warm things up for people. Coming up in March 14th, we'll be back on stage at the Block with jazz organist Tony Monaco from Ohio. And then the very end of March, on the 28th, we will have a powerhouse singer named Shayna Steele, who does the music of Whitney Houston and all kinds of just amazing music.
So you mentioned jazz. You mentioned a vocalist. You mentioned, I mean, so many different genres coming in. And the contemporary cello, I'm seeing those videos on my social media feeds of these young artists who are taking the cello and just turning it into something completely unexpected.
That's right.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's one of the things we like to do with music. You know, people think of the orchestra as just something that plays classical music, but the orchestra is an instrument. And just like the piano, you can play classical on the piano, but you can play jazz and rock and all kinds of things. Well, the orchestra is the same thing. You can take an orchestra and you can do the music of the Beatles or Whitney Houston or just about anything. Yeah, jazz.
Honestly.
Broadway.
I love the way you've described that. That really put it in perspective for me, the orchestra as an instrument. I love that metaphor. And let's talk a little bit about more than just the music.
Sure.
I mean, you guys are so active in the community. I mean, you really are a community staple.
We are. Our goal is to make Muskegon and the West Shore music infused, and to make music accessible to all ages and all children, regardless of their background, regardless of their economic situation of their family. So we have a beginning strings program in Muskegon Public Schools that we started a few years ago, where the kids all get a free instrument to play on.
Amazing.
It's an after-school program. We send in highly qualified teachers who are trained to work with beginning students, which is a special form of teaching,
Sure.
and introduce them to the violin and viola and cello, and just get them started so they'll be ready by the time they get to high school, middle school, and high school, and where they have an orchestra and band.
It's amazing. You start so young and spark that interest. You never know where it's going to lead.
Yeah.
It could be that next avant-garde cello player. You never know. So who knows what the next 85 years will hold, but we know what this year is holding, and we want to get you to those shows, and there is the phone number and website you should go to check that out. The Block, great smaller venue. The Frauenthal Center, of course, we're familiar with, big stage there. Shows happening usually around 7:30. You can go to westmichigansymphony.org for more.